Ever wonder how we get the raw materials for, well, like everything? We're talking phones, buildings, even that super smooth espresso machine you've been eyeing. Today's deep dive is all about the masterminds behind those materials, mineral processing engineers.
They really are the unsung heroes of our modern world.
Right. You actually sent over some resources from RoleCatcher.com about this career path, and I've got to admit, I thought it was just, hard hats and pickaxes, but it's so much more sophisticated.
Oh, for sure. It's amazing how much actually goes on behind the scenes. It's not just about digging things up. It's about transforming those raw materials into the building blocks of, well, our entire society.
Okay, so walk me through this. What does a mineral processing engineer actually, do?
Imagine designing a giant, intricate puzzle, except the pieces are rocks, chemicals, and some seriously impressive machinery. These engineers design the entire process of extracting valuable minerals from raw materials. They are the ones who figure out how to turn, like, a chunk of ore into the refined metals and minerals that we use to manufacture just about everything.
It sounds like they need a serious grasp of chemistry and physics.
Absolutely. It's a field that blends engineering principles with a deep understanding of material science. What I find particularly interesting is how they're integrating cutting-edge technology into these processes.
Really? Like what?
Well, they're using things like CAD software to design those massive processing plants.
CAD software. So we're not talking about like hand-drawn blueprints anymore.
Not at all. They use the sophisticated software to model and simulate every aspect of a processing plant before, a single brick is even laid. It's about precision, efficiency, and ensuring that everything runs smoothly.
That's incredible. Speaking of technology, the RoleCatcher materials mentioned how AI is changing the game for these engineers and for people who want to break into the field. What's the deal with that?
It's fascinating. On the one hand, AI is being incorporated into the actual processes of mineral processing, optimizing efficiency, and making things more sustainable. But it's also changing how people navigate their careers. Imagine an AI that can analyze job descriptions and tell you exactly what skills to highlight on your resume, or even help you practice for an interview.
It's like having a personalized career coach, but,
Wow.
powered by algorithms. That's kind of mind-blowing. But even with all this high-tech stuff, the guide makes it clear that being a mineral processing engineer is no walk in the park.
You're right. It can be demanding work, often involving remote locations, long hours, and, well, the need to constantly adapt as technology evolves. It's not a career for the fact of heart, I guess.
So it sounds like you need a certain kind of personality to thrive in this field. What would you say are the key traits of a successful mineral processing engineer?
Well, you definitely need a strong analytical mind and a knack for problem solving. These engineers face complex challenges on a daily basis, from optimizing extraction rates to ensuring the safety of their operations.
So someone who loves a good puzzle and isn't afraid of a little hard work.
Exactly. And let's not forget the importance of teamwork and communication. Mineral processing engineers often work in multidisciplinary teams, so being able to collaborate effectively is crucial.
It's not a solo mission then. You're part of a larger effort to, like, literally extract value from the earth.
Precisely. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect highlighted in the RoleCatcher materials, the career progression within this field. They outline various stages, from entry level to senior positions, each with its own unique set of responsibilities and challenges.
So let's say someone's listening to this and thinking, okay, this sounds intriguing, but what would I actually be doing day to day as a, mineral processing engineer? What kind of details did you find in the RoleCatcher guides?
Well, picture this. You're fresh out of university, eager to apply all that knowledge. As an entry-level engineer, you're like an apprentice, learning the ropes from the more seasoned pros.
So no pressure on day one then.
Well, not exactly pressure-free. You're diving into real-world projects, but, more in a supporting role.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Think like collecting data from experiments, running simulations on that fancy CAD software we talked about, maybe even getting your hands dirty with some, on-site observations.
Okay, so a healthy mix of theory and hands-on experience. What happens as you level up to, a junior mineral processing engineer?
This is where you start having more ownership. You might be tasked with, say, running feasibility studies for new processing methods.
Feasibility studies.
Yeah. Imagine having to figure out if it's even possible to extract a certain mineral from a new type of ore. And of course, doing it in a way that actually makes economic sense.
So it's not just about the science, it's about the business of mineral processing too.
Oh, absolutely. You need to consider the cost, the environmental impact, the regulatory hurdles. It's like a whole new layer of complexity.
Wow, I bet.
And of course, you're also responsible for optimizing existing processes, right? So can you tweak the parameters to squeeze out a higher yield? Can you improve efficiency and reduce waste? These are the kinds of puzzles those junior engineers are solving.
It sounds like a constant learning curve. You're never really done as a mineral processing engineer, are you?
That's what makes it so exciting. And as you reach that senior engineer level, you're not just solving the puzzles, you're leading the team that's putting those pieces together.
So you're the conductor of the mineral processing orchestra.
I like that analogy. You're overseeing entire projects from like concept to completion.
Ah,
You're mentoring junior engineers and you're acting as the go-to expert when those really, really gnarly problems arise.
that's that's a lot of responsibility. I can see why the RoleCatcher guides emphasize the need to stay updated on industry trends and technologies. It's a field that's, well, constantly evolving.
Exactly. And speaking of trends, we haven't even touched on the role of sustainability in all of this.
Right.
The RoleCatcher materials really highlighted how mineral processing is becoming increasingly focused on minimizing environmental impact.
Which makes sense, right? You're extracting resources from the earth. You want to make sure you're doing it responsibly.
Precisely, and that's where the role of a mineral processing engineer becomes even more crucial. They're at the forefront of like developing and implementing more sustainable practices.
So what are some examples of how they're making the industry more eco-friendly?
Well, take water usage, for example. Traditional mineral processing can be very water intensive. Engineers are now developing innovative closed loop systems to recycle and reuse water, drastically reducing the industry's water footprint.
That's amazing. What about like the waste generated from these processes?
That's another area where we're seeing incredible innovation.
Yeah.
They're finding ways to repurpose tailings, the leftover materials from mining and extraction into construction materials or even like fertilizer. It's about turning what was once considered waste into a valuable resource.
It sounds like they're taking a page from like nature's playbook where everything just gets recycled.
Exactly. And then there's the whole area of bioleaching, which uses microorganisms to extract metals from ore.
Wow.
It reduces the need for those harsh chemicals. It's a fascinating example of how like biology is being used to create a more sustainable mining industry.
Okay, that's some seriously next level stuff. It sounds like mineral processing engineers are at the intersection of so many important fields: engineering, environmental science, even biotechnology. But let's bring it back down to earth for a moment, pun intended.
Yeah.
We've talked about the what and the how, but what about the who? Who is this career path right for? What kind of person would thrive in this field? So we've established that it takes a special kind of brain to do this work. If someone's listening and thinking, "Hey, maybe this is me," what should they know?
Well, a love for science and technology is a given, but it goes beyond that. This is a field for those who are naturally curious, who love to like tinker and problem solve.
Someone who doesn't just accept things at face value, but really wants to dig deeper, understand the why behind the what.
Exactly. And because the field is constantly evolving, a willingness to learn and adapt it's essential. It's not enough to just master the existing techniques. You need to be excited about what the future holds, whether that's AI-driven optimization or those bio-inspired extraction methods we talked about.
Sounds like you need a healthy dose of creativity too, not just the technical skills.
Absolutely. The most successful mineral processing engineers I've encountered are those who can approach challenges from multiple angles, who aren't afraid to think outside the box and come up with really innovative solutions.
It's almost like being like an inventor in a way.
Right.
You're constantly experimenting, pushing boundaries, figuring out new and better ways to do things. And speaking of figuring things out, the RoleCatcher materials had some interesting insights on like how to actually land a job in this field. What stood out to you?
One thing that struck me was the emphasis on transferable skills. Even if someone hasn't worked specifically in mineral processing before, they might have experience in related fields like chemical engineering or environmental science or even like data analysis.
Oh, interesting.
Highlighting those transferable skills is key.
So it's not necessarily about having mineral processing engineer on your resume, but about showcasing the underlying skills that translate to this line of work.
Exactly. And because technology is playing such a big role in the industry, having a strong grasp of, of relevant software and tools is crucial.
You mentioned CAD software earlier. Are there any other specific um, programs or platforms that aspiring engineers should be familiar with?
Well, simulation software is becoming increasingly important, as is data analysis software for, for interpreting all that data coming from sensors and those monitoring systems. And of course, having at least a basic understanding of AI principles and applications would be a huge advantage in today's job market.
It's like that old saying, the only constant is change, especially in a field, as dynamic as mineral processing.
Very true. But here's the thing, change can be a good thing. It brings challenges, yes, but also incredible opportunities for innovation and growth. And for those who are passionate about science and technology and making a real-world impact, mineral processing offers like a world of possibilities.
It's not just about the rocks then. It's about, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, creating a more sustainable future, and really shaping the world around us.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you have it. Our deep dive into the world of mineral processing engineering, from the intricate processes they designed to the global impact they have. It's a field that's often overlooked, but as we've learned today, it's essential to our modern world and holds incredible potential for the future.
It's certainly been an eye-opening conversation.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, next time you pick up your phone or step into a building, take a moment to appreciate the work of those mineral processing engineers who made it all possible. And who knows, maybe this deep dive has sparked a newfound curiosity, or even inspired a future career path. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.